Thank you. Hi guys. So I was initially going to talk to you guys about the benefits of the legalization of marijuana for medical purposes, but it's very much legal now, so there's no point. Instead, I'm just going to tell you about a completely unrelated story. So there is this girl that I know from Mauritius. She was pregnant for 7 months without even knowing about it. So she had a period completely normally for 7 months, didn't experience morning sickness, weight gain, or anything like that. But then eventually went for some tests after experiencing cramps, back pain, and everything. And that's only then, after 7 months, that she found out that she was pregnant. And it's only then, literally overnight, that her body started experiencing changes. So big tummy and everything. So this is called a denial of pregnancy. So basically, your mind is unaware that you're pregnant, or is aware of it, but is basically in denial of it. The other way around also happens, called fast pregnancy, where women are so convinced that they are pregnant that their body starts imitating pregnancy without actually being pregnant. So it's pretty rare, fair enough, but it does happen. So my topic of today will be about a concept called the biology of belief and how powerful your mind actually is. So there's this doctor, that's him, Bruce Lipton. He's been working in the medical field for years now, and he's a renowned cell biologist who is now going against everything that he used to teach and believe in. So he wrote this book, The Biology of Belief, in which he explained the link between the mind and the brain and how brain's functioning is actually affected by thoughts. So stress, for example, anxiety and overthinking are detrimental to your health. Bruce Lipton says, and I quote, "Stress makes you less intelligent." So he explains the biology behind it and says that when you get stressed, your body goes into a fight or flight response and releases more cortisol into the brain, somehow provoking the blood to, I cannot pronounce this word, preferentially go into the arms and the legs. Sounds a bit weird, I know, but it gets your body to fight or flight. The only problem with this system is it's needed for survival. Unfortunately, it shuts down the blood that goes to other organs that helps with growth and maintaining yourself. So he gave another example that really struck me and talked about organ transplant and said that usually when someone gets a foreign organ, the first reflex of the immune system is to try and eliminate it. So what doctors do, they give you drugs with stress hormones to shut down your immune system so that the organ doesn't get rejected right away. Unfortunately, your other organs are suffering from it, and since your immune system is shut down, you are more prone to diseases and infections. So I came across this topic recently because I've been struggling with anxiety and panic attacks myself for the first time ever. And for those who never experienced it, you're basically trapped in your own head. It's very scary. And I had no idea how to deal with it by myself. I did a lot of research about it. I went to see a GP who prescribed me with some pills for 2 weeks, and I had to take them because it was affecting my daily routine. I was petrified to drive to class. I wasn't eating properly. I was suffering from brain fog, intense fatigue. I was basically losing touch with myself and reality. It was a nightmare. And I remember I went to look up the names of these pills that she gave me on Google, and it was written, "Helps with the treatment of schizophrenia." And I was like, Jesus, woman, why so dramatic? I just have a little bit of anxiety, chill, you know? And then I came across this meme that basically says, "These pills will fix your brain. Thank you. They might also make it worse, though." I was like, what? So basically, when I came across this meme, it made me rethink what I was doing to myself. And also came across these 2 very popular documentaries on Netflix. Maybe you've heard of them. So one is called What the Health, which is about the food industry, and the other one is Take Your Pills, which is about the pharmaceutical industry and how these 2 actually work together, and a little bit twisted. So it's a little bit biased on the edges, but it's very informational. So if you haven't seen it, I really recommend that you do so. It's really interesting, and it really put me off food forever. But basically in his talk, Bruce Lipton indirectly goes against the pharmaceutical industry and explains that the meds that are prescribed to us today, for whatever reasons, flu to depression, will have long-term negative effects on our bodies. Because at the end of the day, these meds are only useful to deal with the symptoms and not the actual problem. So conventional medicine, we all know this, will not allow a cure because it's not profitable. So he explains that the 3 leading causes of death in America are cancer, cardiovascular disease, and something called iatrogenic illness, which is basically death by medical treatment and prescribed drugs. Not everyone knows this. I didn't know this until this year. I was really shocked. He does say, however, that doctors should not be blamed for prescribing these meds because that's all they know and that's all they studied. But he's saying that it's the system that is twisted. So on the other hand, and we're all guilty of that, I'm guilty of this, we don't really question the system enough because we assume that professionals just know better. And since the pharmaceutical industry runs the show in medicine, it really influences discussions around how to deal with illnesses, and most people just listen to it. So Dr. Bruce Lipton really insists on the fact that we can cure ourselves. And this might be a little far-fetched to some of you, but most cancer patients, according to Bruce Lipton, are people who live very sad, stressful, and unstable lifestyles. So as he said before, stress shuts down your immune system, making you more vulnerable. So if negative thinking can have such a bad impact on your body, just imagine what positive thinking can do. It's equally powerful, but in a good way. So in summary, he says, and I quote, genes do not control our biology. So this has been an assumption in medicine for a very long time, where the gene is the controlling device, and therefore it makes you powerless. So if you have cancer, for example, running in your family, you will automatically get it. Whereas according to him, and recent studies, is not true. So according to him, only 5% of the population is born with defective genes, and 95% isn't. But when the 95% gets sick, it's usually for 3 reasons. Toxins, so what we put in our bodies, processed food, sugar, KFC, whatever. Trauma, so an accident. And thoughts, basically the brain sending the wrong signals. So in other words, he's saying that perception shapes behavior and genetic activity, and this is called epigenetics, which is a very new field in biology that is unraveling the mysteries of how the environment can influence the behavior of the cells without changing the genetic code. It's a bit complex, I know, but anyway. So he says, and I quote, the gene is a blueprint. It cannot make any decision. We control the gene does not control us. We can change our epigenetic at any time, even if we get defective genes from our parents. So if we change our perceptions, we change the reading of the gene. He explains that no gene causes cancer, only a life stimulus can kick it off. So back to my personal experience for a bit. I went to see another psychologist, again, specialized in a practice called Enneagram that basically follows the same principles as the biology of belief and says that most diseases today are a result of suppressed feelings. So I didn't really believe that at first, but I went to see them just about actually 2 months ago, and I haven't had a panic attack since. So it's just, I used to have those panic attacks almost every day at some point. I even had one while I was driving. And the first session with her was a 4-hour session. It was really long. And I remember crying more during that session more than like ever before, but it was such a relief because she basically forces you to address your feelings rather than avoiding or suppressing them. So it's not like one of those like be happy all the time sort of session, not at all. It's okay to be sad. And I'm still struggling at times. I didn't really expect my anxiety to just like vanish overnight. But compared to what it was a few months back, it is very, very different. But I've taken so many different initiatives to try and get better. Started drinking more water, going out more, going to gym more, and last but not least, meditating. So if you guys don't do it, please start. It's very, very nice. But basically, my mindset shifted, and I was actively trying to change my environment, and it did miracles for me. It's a very conscious healing. So alternative options to medicine are often underestimated because they are relatively new. Okay, I'll just let you read the titles. And other natural substances, oh Jesus, my earring fell off. Sorry. Other natural substances that were previously illegal, like medical marijuana or psilocybin, have proven to do a better job at dealing with illnesses today. So okay, I'm not promoting drugs here, not at all. But in the end, something as simple as a good nutrition can make a massive difference. But you have to be mentally ready to face the problem. So Dr. Lipton says, it's easy to reprogram your mind, but people don't even try. So the good things about science is like it keeps being disproven all the time, and new knowledge comes in and out. And they're all just trends at the end of the day. But the first step basically starts with you. And Bruce Lipton stresses the importance of connecting the mind to the body. So the more aware you are of your body, the more knowledge and power you will have over it. He's not really saying if you access your subconscious, you will automatically have superpowers, heal yourself of every disease, become immortal or whatever, no. But if you access your subconscious, 95% of our behavior and reaction happen at the subconscious level. And the subconscious can learn in 2 fundamental ways. The first one is hypnosis, so basically the first 7 years of your life as a child, and repetition. So if you make something a habit, like positive thinking, meditation, or whatever, it becomes part of you. So it's basically a combination of everything, and with your mind being at the center of it. So your environment, how you live, what you eat, and how you think, which directly goes back to my first example of the denial of pregnancy, and how powerful thoughts are. You truly are what you think. Thank you.